Minnesota Vikings traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers on Thursday Night Football in Week 8 of the NFL. My name is Steve, and we're going to have your best bets video for this game. We're going to have 2 player props, a spread pick, couple parlays for this game that I think are great value bets for this Thursday Night Football game. Let's lock in and get a sweep.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that Cap made now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's lock in and have a great Week 8 of the NFL. We certainly did in week number 7. We'll touch on that here in just a second. One other quick thing, just check out our Week 8 NFL spreads and totals video where we cover the spread and the total for every single game in the NFL. That video is already live. I'll have that pinned here at the end of the video where you can check that out. Now a quick recap from week number 7 in the NFL, guys. It was crazy good. 11-6 plus 12.39 units. We can't really do it too much better than that in week number 7. It was a great week 7. I included our Thursday recap. I know we already did that previously, but we had such a great Thursday. I just wanted to make sure we celebrated last week as a whole. It was a great week. As far as Sunday to Monday, what I typically recap here, we went 9-5 plus 2.85 units with a couple parlays that we lost and stuff like that. That's why we lost a bit of juice there. Our Mike Evans bet voided, because remember how I talked about that in our Monday night video on Fanatics. That first half insurance comes in clutch. They give us our money back on that. That is why I was pleading with you guys to take it on Fanatics because they offer that first half insurance. And we knew it was a little bit risky there with Evans coming back from injury. So just keep that in mind when you guys are watching this. And if you don't have Fanatics, you don't necessarily have to take the bet. Just so you guys are aware of that. Jackson Smith and Jigbo, we cashed on the hook at 25.5. He finished with a 26-yard longest reception. So I know probably a bunch of people didn't get that one. That one was, FanDuel had the best value on that at minus 122 at the 25.5 line. Like I said, it cashed there, but didn't cash on a lot of other books. Outside of that, everything else was pretty clean. Seahawks -3. Jahmyr Gibbs, 25 plus receiving yards. Those were all among our hits there Monday night. And then Sunday, we had a great Sunday as well. We went 6-3 on Sunday. And like I said, 3-2 there on Monday. So a great overall week, though, for us, guys. For the week, 11-6 plus 12.39 units. We'd love to see it. Comment cappers were also fantastic last week. Justin McKelvey calling Sam Darnold to throw an interception and the Eagles money line. Love to see it. Demetrius Smith had a parlay with the Eagles plus 3.5, the Cowboys plus 3.5, and the Bears game total under 49.5. That all cashes. We love to see it. Mike Crone called Quinshon Judkins anytime touchdown for the Browns. He got 3 of them. Can't do much better than that. Eric May called Cortland Sutton over 4.5 receptions. Cashes that as well. So great job by our comic cappers, guys. We love to see it. Fantastic week all around here at the channel. Like I said, that gets our NFL season more than back on track here. We are now up almost 7 units for the season. So we're going to keep that momentum. We got a huge week number 8 Thursday Night Football video. We cashed our plus 3,500 last week on 35. Cashed our plus 3,500 parlay last Thursday night and the week before that. So can we go for 3 in a row on Thursday night on plus 3,500 or greater parlays? Because I got another one cooked up for you this week. It's going to be plus 3,770. So let's lock in this video. Let's get right into the picks, guys, and let's have a huge week. At number 1, we are going with the Minnesota Vikings plus 3.5 on the spread here versus the Los Angeles Chargers. We got minus 120 odds here on Fanatics. First of all, let me say, I cannot trust the Chargers to cover more than a 3-point spread in general. I don't think ever. Even at the beginning of the season, I really would be very wary about taking the Chargers as a big favorite. Not that they're a big favorite, but 3.5 I think is a decent line, decently sized line here, especially given what we're working with the Chargers here. For me, fading the Chargers is all about the lack of continuity and the health of the offensive line up front. Pipkins and Joe Alt have been out for various games. They're both listed as questionable for this game. They both might end up playing. That might boost this offensive line. But even still, I don't love the continuity of their offensive line. Haven't liked what I've seen. And I just, even if it is their first game back, I don't see them flying right out of the gate on the offensive line and getting that push here to start this game. I think the Chargers, particularly offensive line, has been in trouble. There's a good chance one or both of these guys could miss again, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. We have actually faded the Chargers to success the last couple of weeks with underdog spreads, the Colts and the Dolphins. We've been there for both of those. So I think for another straight week here, I have to fade the Chargers when they're a favorite at this point. They're 1-4-1 against the spread as a favorite. Like I said, they always do this. I mean, I can't explain it. It seems like every single season the Chargers start the season like 2-0, 3-0. They look great out of the gate. You think that they figured some things out. You think the defense is going to be good. You think Herbert's turned the corner. And for what it's worth, I think Herbert's fine. I don't think this is on Herbert. I think it's on the offensive line. But now their defense isn't playing good either. They gave up 38 last week to the Colts. They gave up 27 the week before that to the Dolphins, who have been struggling over the last few weeks. They're about to fire their coach. So I can't trust their defense. Can't trust their offensive line. I obviously can't trust them as any type of a favorite. I think the Vikings are in a prime spot here. And the Vikings overall are a solid football team. I'm not saying they're the best team right now in the league, but they're a solid team. They got a solid defense, solid running game, great wide receivers. The quarterback is really the question mark right now. And Wentz is actually starting to play decent aside from the turnovers. He turned the ball over a couple times last week. If he can avoid that, I really like the Vikings here. But he's 10th in yards per pass attempt, which is usually a good sign. If you have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field with accuracy and he's hitting his receivers, that's usually a good sign. He's not just a check down guy and he can make plays. But he's got to avoid the turnovers. If he avoids the turnovers, I think we're okay here. And versus this Chargers defense, I think he can have success. So love it there for number one pick. We're going Minnesota Vikings plus 3.5 on the spread here versus the Los Angeles Chargers minus 120 odds here on Fanatics. Okay, and at number 2, we got Jordan Addison, 50-plus receiving yards here for the Minnesota Vikings. We're going minus 140 odds on Fanatics, risking a unit here. Really like this play. Now, typically, I will say this. Normally, I don't lay this kind of juice. Normally, I don't play plays that are in the minus 140 range. I made an exception because I thought this was actually good value. His normal receiving line is 54.5 on FanDuel, 55.5 on most of the other books. So, I'm like, I like the odds of bumping it down. I think it was minus 114 on FanDuel. So we're losing negative 26 odds to bump his receiving down like 6 yards. I think that's worth it. Like I said, Fanatics is offering this at minus 140. I think that's solid. And I want to play it a little bit safe here because we're going to have this in a parlay as well. So I really like Addison to get this number, though. This is a very manageable number, obviously, for him. He's over in 2 of his 3 games so far this season, averaging 94.3 receiving yards per game. In addition to that, this dude is also averaging 8.7 targets per game, which is fantastic. That's really what you want to see. We've also seen receivers of late gash the Chargers. Jalen Waddle, 95. Alec Pierce, 98. That's really the guy that I think that's most comparable here. Addison can stretch the field like Pierce can. And so that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for the big play here from Addison. And that is where the Chargers are weak. They're 28th in long reception defense versus wide receivers. So I think Addison's the guy that can burn them there on the back end. Would love to see that. Cortland Sutton, 118, and Hollywood Brown, 99. So there's receivers that have torched this secondary. And I think here this is a spot where, a guy in Addison who's getting 8.7 targets per game. That's a really good line for that type of volume. If he's going to get 8-9 targets here, you feel pretty good about him getting 50 receiving yards for sure. Especially, he is the type of guy that can stretch the field versus this Chargers defense. Like I said, LA secondary got torched last week. You can't trust this defense anymore. Pierce torched them on a number of long balls. He had, like I said, 98 yards last week. So I think Addison here can lock in and cash here for us. So love it there for number 2 pick. We got Jordan Addison, 50-plus receiving yards here for the Minnesota Vikings. Minus 140 odds here on Fanatics. Okay, and at number 3, we're going Keenan Allen, over 49.5 receiving yards here for the Los Angeles Chargers. We got minus 114 odds on FanDuel, risking a unit here on this one. Keenan Allen over in 5 of 7 games so far this season. He's averaging 9.7 targets per game. I don't even have to talk about the matchup when you have that many targets per game. Some guys can be matchup proof. We found that last week with CMC. Christian McCaffrey, we said how he was averaging 10 targets a game as a running back. His receiving line was 45.5 versus the Falcons. Well, guess what? The Falcons were number 1 versus running backs. Guess how many receiving yards Christian McCaffrey had? 70 plus. So sometimes the matchup doesn't always mean everything, guys. Some guys are matchup proof. But even if we can actually, it's even sweeter than that because the Vikings really struggled last week versus both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And these guys really have struggled to get anything going all season, the passing game of the Eagles, and they absolutely lit it up versus this Vikings defense last week. So I think Keenan Allen could certainly get 50. If Devontae can get like 130 and A.J. Brown can get 90 or 100, I think Keenan Allen could get 50. This guy is usually a lock for that. He's a great possession receiver. He's got great hands. He's a veteran guy who has great chemistry with Herbert. He's coming off a game where he had 14 targets from Justin Herbert, 119-yard receiving game last week. He's still the same guy. I don't see the regression with Keenan Allen. And back in the day, when you used to take Keenan Allen's receiving lines, they were in the high 60s, low 70s, because that's what he was cashing. And really, I think we're going to find as the season goes, that's where his lines should be. They should at least be above 60. And right now, if you're getting it at 50 yards, I think that's phenomenal value here on him. And like I said, he may be older, but he certainly isn't playing that way. And like I said, he's been pretty consistent this season too. 5 of 7 games this season, really coming off one of his better games too. You gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it. So love it there for number 3 pick. We got Keenan Allen over 49.5 receiving yards here for the Los Angeles Chargers. Minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. And then for the Sweep Parlay, it's just these 3 picks put together. We're doing this for 0.15 units. So I wanted to risk a total of a quarter unit on whatever parlays we do. I don't want to get too crazy with parlays. But whatever we risk on parlays, I want it to be a quarter of a unit. So we're doing a 0.15 of it here for the Sweep Parlay. That'll bring back roughly a unit, which would be fantastic if we could do that. And obviously we'll make good units just on the straights as well. And then moving on to our same game parlay. This is valued at plus 37.70 odds on DraftKings with a 30% profit boost that they're offering us for this game. Risking a tenth of a unit. So I could risk a quarter of a unit like we did last week on this, and we can make 9 units. But I'm not going to get that aggressive this week. You guys are welcome to do whatever you want. But for me, just a tenth of a unit here. But really like the picks that we have here in this one. We got Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown for the Vikings. He's done this in 3 of his last 4 games. And the Chargers are 25th DVP versus touchdowns allowed to running backs. We just saw Jonathan Taylor run for 3 last week versus this unit. I think Mason can get 1. He's really the best goal line option. Even if Aaron Jones comes back, Mason should get the carries down around the goal line. And I think he'll have a great chance to score. Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown. We just talked about how this dude had 14 targets last week. That's enough for me to warrant an anytime touchdown look on Allen. He's already done this in 4 or 7 games this season. Vikings 14th DVP in touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. And you're getting good value here on him. And that's sometimes what I love about it. You're getting, about plus 155 here on him to score a touchdown as this leg of the parlay. Oronde Gadsden, 5+ receptions here for the Chargers. Now, I don't even want to say this is stretching. This guy has been doing really good late. 5+ receptions in 3 of the last 5 games. Vikings actually are 20th defense versus position in receptions allowed to tight ends. So Gadsden is actually a lot like Keenan Allen, has become a trusted target. It's kind of, we've seen more of Keenan Allen and Gadsden, and now Quentin Johnston's starting to fade a little bit, which is kind of interesting. Because Quentin Johnston kind of started the season as the favorite target of Herbert. And now it's kind of looking more like Gadsden and Keenan Allen. So I think he could reel in 5 receptions. Like I said, last couple weeks, he's really taken center front stage in this offense along with Keenan Allen. So I think he can come through. Jordan Addison, 70+ receiving yards. He had 114+ receiving yards in 2 of the last 3 games. So we mentioned now he's averaging over 90 receiving yards a game since he's come on the scene 3 games ago. And the Chargers, like I said, 28th long reception defense. What I'm looking for here is a bomb to Jordan Addison. I think we could see that in this one. And I really like the value on him to get 70 receiving yards. And then what would be ideal? Just saying. This dude catches a 74-yard catch. Okay. Start the game. They open with at the 25. Carson Wentz throws to Addison. He's tackled at the 1-yard line. And what do you think's coming next? Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown. Run that puppy in from a yard. We'd love to see it. That's it for our picks, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, hit the like and subscribe for me. Obviously, we have a lot of content here on the channel. Check all that out as well. Turn your notifications on, please. And tune into all our other videos as well. We got a lot of things we're covering. The NBA has started. That is actually our primary sport. And we're off to a 3-3 start in that after the first day. So we should get things rolling there as well. So appreciate you guys. Let's have a great day. And we will catch you guys all back here next time. Peace out.